Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 121 of the Brother Sister Show, a family-owned and operated podcast where two siblings keep in touch by talking about movies. This week, you guys have been waiting for it, you've been asking, you've been begging for it. We're talking about Morbius. But before that, I have a gripe to pick with A24.
Okay.
Why is it so damn hard to find tickets to see Everything Everywhere All at Once? I swear, this is the most...
Because it's not wide release, dummy.
Okay, it's not even that. It's not even that. I get it's not wide release. April 8th is when the movie is, like, in theaters across the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Even then, like, in San Antonio, one theater. What's up with that? Houston, there's, like, 2 theaters that I've seen, which is the nearest... like big city next to me that I can go to. Like, I feel like A24 has like fumbled the bag so hard. Because at least for me, and maybe it's just like, maybe they're just like waiting to see how it goes like with these, you know, the first 2 weekends. But I feel like for other movies, like they just were pushed everywhere. Like, X to me seemed like a harder sell than this movie. And it's like still showing in theaters. I just don't get why.
Well, you get full access to Father Stew, and I'm not complaining.
Okay, that's the thing. I don't get why. Like, I can pre-order tickets to see Father Stew, but I can't find tickets for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Even like on their official website.
Oh, really? I mean, I wish I could identify with your struggle. I don't. I empathize, you know. I feel bad for you, but as somebody who's already seen it.
That's what bothers me. It's like, I want to see this movie so damn bad, and they're making it hard. I mean, first world problem, like, I'm sure they'll share it.
And again, I can't identify. So when we were sitting down for the critically acclaimed Morbius, we saw the trailer to The Lost City. Or maybe it was some movie that we went to this week where we saw the trailer to The Lost City. No. It wasn't even that. It was the trailer to The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Oh, yeah.
And I leaned over to Sebastian and I was like, nobody in here knows that I've already seen that movie. I'm like, so annoying already.
Oh my gosh. Imagine if we get like screeners, like if we get to that level where we see a lot of movies early. It's just so funny that I heard nothing but good things about this movie, and I can only buy tickets to see Father Stew. It's frustrating.
I keep seeing, you know, obviously, again, can't emphasize enough how much I've seen this movie. I've seen the full thing. And I loved it, but again, it was like the first movie that I saw, so I was like, I don't know if it's like built up because of, you know, the feeling of that, but the more reviews that I see that are like, this is the best movie I've seen in a while, it makes me like excited for you to see it, but also kind of makes me laugh because like you can't see it.
It's hard. It's really hard to.
But at least it's a movie, like there's some movies where I feel like I'd be nervous because I'm like, oh, but I don't know if it's like worth all this build up, but I think this movie is. So I think they want you to work for it, you know? They want you to sit down and be like, I really deserve this. I've sat through Morbius, through Father Stew for this moment.
I guess so. I might be making a trip to go see it, so.
To San Antonio?
No, not to San Antonio. Probably Houston, because it's like an hour and a half away, 2 hours at the most. So that's all I really had for. I've been thinking about it. I've been checking every single day, every morning. I have it bookmarked.
The one thing I was kind of bummed, I guess I can kind of, you know, see how you're feeling, is I wanted to see an IMAX, but I don't know. I don't have no idea. Like every time they have those things where they're like, go see it in IMAX, and I check and they're like, the closest we can do is Oklahoma. And I'm like, why even tell us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I can see that where I'm like, this movie would be amazing to see in IMAX, but I don't know where.
But the Oscars. So it's been a week and a day since this episode, or when this episode comes out, since the Oscars have happened. Let's just talk about the big things. Not the big thing, because we don't have anything else to add, honestly. Like, It happened. Shocking. I think Daniel Radcliffe said it best when, what did he say? Like, it's just tiring at this point.
Yeah, he said that everybody is like it's kind of becoming boring, which is weird to say about what happened. But he's like, I think he said, like, there's so many opinions out there, I don't need to add myself to that. Mm-hmm. And I think I do want to talk about the show itself, because even before the event, I feel like the show was just weird in general. Like, it had a weird vibe.
Cameos from, like, BTS had the whole
just
thing.
Like, all of it was so strange, and then this happened, and it made it somehow even weirder. But again, there's so many takes that we just don't need to add to it. So, but the thing I do want to talk about is, like, just the jokes themselves. I'm so and everybody. This is another thing that everybody had an opinion on, but I guess not as much because of, other things. But, like, I'm so tired. I like the idea of making fun of movies, of, like, the whole, like, there have been some good monologues in its day of, a comedian kind of just roasting the movies that you're the people in the movies. Like, I don't mind that. I feel like it's kind of a fun little thing to do, but, like, some of them just start to feel, like, really mean-spirited, like, just, I'm so tired of that. Like, I didn't watch Power of the Dog because it was so fucking boring, or, like, all these, like, jokes that tried to be funny about how much it seemed like they really just hated any movie that wasn't Dune or Coda.
Or Spider-Man.
Yeah, and, like, I'm so tired of that take. It's not even that it's, like, I'm, like, offended by it because I loved Power of the Dog. It's just boring. Mm-hmm. I guess same thing around Daniel Radcliffe said. Like, it's such a boring opinion. And it's honestly such a boring joke because it's been made 100 times. Yeah. And you know what joke just really made me mad was the joke about the last duel. Do you remember that? That just felt so awkward and, like, so... Where she
said, like, no one had seen it. It was, like,
not even the director.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, I don't know. None of the jokes were funny. That We Don't Talk About Bruno song was atrocious. It was so bad. I was already upset that they were going to sing that song that wasn't even nominated. And then they, like, changed every single lyric. And then I think John Leguizamo, I feel like he was actually, like, upset when he was like, they didn't even ask me to be a part of it, and it's about my character.
Yeah, it was really weird. Definitely, like, they didn't honor their theme of, like, movie lovers.
Yeah.
Whatever.
The only bit I really loved, and because I just love Wanda Sykes. Honestly, my problem is just Amy Schumer. I just don't really care for her. Because Regina Hall, she can do anything, and I fucking love it. And then Wanda Sykes is so funny. And that one part where she was like, they filmed it at the museum. Do you remember that? That was actually really funny.
Oh, yeah, where she was like, where did my $15 go, or something like that.
Yeah, I liked that. Because I also like to see the museum.
Even outside of the jokes, there were some really heartwarming, and we can get into some of the winners. When Troy Kotzer won.
Yes,
and they did, the sign language for applause. Like, so that was really, that hit. I was like, damn, it's such a good moment. And then when the interpreter was, like, kind of breaking down, giving his, like, translating his speech, that was another hard. I was like, damn.
I loved it.
Yeah. And then Liza Minnelli and Lady Gaga.
Oh, yeah.
Her announcement of Coda, she's like, oh, Coda. And then it was just, like, super nonchalant, but I like that.
I liked seeing her.
Coda won. Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Picture, obviously. I mean, I think Best Picture, people were expecting it. It was, like, kind of the buzz beforehand, like, a couple of days before. I'm not upset. I mean, I would have liked... I think Drive My Car would have been cool, or Dune. Mm-hmm. Even Nightmare Alley. Nightmare Alley got nothing. which
Eh.
I don't know. I like that movie.
I was kind of surprised about Will Smith's win for a lot of reasons, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty good in the movie. Jessica
Yeah, he
Chastain
definitely was a standout.
got Best Actress, which I think everyone pretty much saw coming.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Penelope Cruz in Parallel Mothers. I know a lot of people wanted her to win it for that. A lot of people wanted Kristen Stewart. I know you did.
Yeah, that was a dream, though. I knew it was never going to happen.
I mean, she's so young. She'll have her.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's an honor for her to be nominated. I can just say that myself. It felt nice that she was, even recognized. That was cool. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't even think that would happen, honestly.
Then Dune swept all the technical.
Yeah, it got a lot. I mean, I'm sure you're happy about that. I'm not mad about it. I mean, I truly didn't think it would happen. I don't know why. I think usually,
Really?
I thought it would go to a bunch of different. I didn't think that it would, sweep everything. I knew at least, for score, all the other stuff. I feel like it was going to happen, but
we have best visual effects, cinematography, editing, sound, production design, original score. Those are all the 6 it won. Honestly, I mean, it's such a technical achievement, that movie.
Yeah.
It's crazy that no one directed it, but I mean,
even Sebastian doesn't really know much about the Oscars, obviously, but he was like, that was the only thing he kept saying. He was like, every time they would win, he was like, how the fuck did they not nominate him? It was so funny to see him because he doesn't, I mean, he thinks it's fun to watch, but he doesn't care. Right. And so just to see him so angry, almost the amount of anger that you had, honestly, he was like, how did they not nominate him? And I was like, that's the big question.
Doesn't make any sense. But
I don't know.
I mean, I like that everyone that gave speeches, and even though they trimmed the speeches that were non-televised, but they ended up televising. That was a whole weird thing too, which we don't have to get into. They all mentioned him and they were like, this couldn't have been done obviously without him. But Jane Campion won Best Director. Well deserved. I mean,
yeah,
of course. But Denny was absolutely snubbed.
Well. He can have another year. He'll be fine.
I think Dune Part 2, it'll be what is it? Return of the King that has 11 Oscars or something. That's what people are saying is if
the Oscars continue. Honestly, I don't know.
It did feel like the end.
Yeah,
watching it
really did. Maybe that's what the feeling was. I don't know. I still can't describe it. It kind of wore away. But I think me and you and a lot of people had the same I don't know, it just felt so strange. It felt like I just woke up from a bad dream and I still felt uneasy. That's exactly how it felt.
Yeah, which is terrible because I wasn't able to process Questlove's win. I love Questlove.
Oh, I know.
I haven't seen Summer of Soul. I really want to. I know it's on Hulu. But I've been reading his book called Creative Quest, and it's he's fantastic. He's really funny.
He's so smart.
Yeah, he's just the most creative person ever.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. I was watching the red carpet beforehand, and his interview. I forgot who was the interviewer, but he mentioned that they had 80 hours of footage that he just would play on loop everywhere, in his house. He would just play for months on end. And he was just whenever he found a profound moment, he would just put it in, which is insane. The amount of dedication.
Another thing too, another win. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
Riz Ahmed. I wish that was fucking televised because I know they cut his speech. I didn't watch the full thing, but so happy. That was my favorite one. And then there's a huge reaction that happened when Billie Eilish won. And I don't understand how people didn't think that was going to happen. I think people thought Lin-Manuel, because this is the last thing he needs for an EGOT, which he's going to get one, guys. He's going to get one eventually. But
right.
The Bond songs always win. So I don't know why people are so surprised.
They had a whole thing like to commemorate like 50 years of the Oscar.
Which was so weird. Okay, I completely forgot that happened. But like when they showed it, I was like, this just seems like what they would put in a commercial for like a commemorative set for the Bond movies.
Yeah. But like not even on like it would be on like HGTV, like intermissions, like,
because why the lineup that they got to introduce that when there was like, I think somebody pointed this out, but I've never seen any of the Bond movies, but when I saw like Dame Judi Dench, who was there, like two of the villains were there. Like there were so many people in those movies that were sitting down and they didn't. One of them was fucking nominated for a fucking Oscar this year. And he's just sitting in the audience watching Tony Hawk talk about the movie he was in.
And Shaun White.
Okay, yeah. Okay, and then last thing was I completely forgot this happened. And it was the best moment in the Oscars, I think, but when the fan favorites. I totally forgot they did that. But
so did
the
I.
meme of the Flash entering the Speed Force set me into orbit. It was so fucking funny. Every single meme, I could not stop laughing.
I honestly like, why? Like, I don't like. I honestly am speechless. I don't even know.
Yeah, I didn't even know. So I forgot that they were even doing that, and I thought. I didn't know they did a cheer-worthy moment. That's a good indication for what happened, because like I didn't even know that they were doing that. So like that's why I tweeted my one joke the whole night. Like now for the part that's sponsored by Mojo. Watch Mojo. Because like I was like, what is this? It just was so random, and I didn't realize till Sebastian told me that's the fan voted ones. And I was like, first of all, where did people vote for this shit? Because I didn't really know. Weird. It's so strange.
The last thing I want to mention is Belfast, Best Original Screenplay.
Have you seen Belfast?
I haven't seen it, so I don't really want to speak on it. But I really wanted The Worst Person in the World to win. Really did. So please watch that movie. It comes out in like May.
Okay.
Please do. Yeah, that's it. I want to talk about Fresh.
Yes.
Since that was my penance, I could talk about the other two, but I mean it's so long now that it's like.
Did you watch them?
Not yet, but. Okay. So I can't talk about that. But let's talk about Fresh.
Okay.
I liked it.
I didn't. I gave it like 2 stars, I think.
I liked it. I mean, it did drag on a little bit at the end, I think. Like, it could have been maybe 10, 15 minutes shorter. But I really liked that. I think this is the only thing I mentioned in my review was the 30-minute open credit drop. That was like, I love that. It's just so fantastic because you forget. Honestly, for me, I forget that I'm watching a movie, right?
Right.
And then I just like, they drop it and I'm just like, boom. Amazing.
Into it.
And it was so perfect because like the credits fit so well with the story and like where we were in the story because she was drugged. And so like the text was all warped.
Right. Yeah.
I loved it so much. And that sold it for me, honestly.
I think I looked over to Sebastian and I was like, I'm a slut for a mid-movie or for a 30-minute credit drop. And he was like, what? I forget that he's not a part of like film Twitter like I am. Cause like everybody was like, oh man, I fucking loved it. Like, I don't know why we all love that so much, but I fucking love it. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, Fresh does it. Drive My Car does it like expertly as well. Yeah, we need to whenever we make a feature because it'll happen.
Oh, it's happening like an hour in.
Yeah,
you'll know what movie it is like an hour in.
We got to do it like that, and it just fits so well. I just love that.
Morbius would have gotten another full star from me if the credits came in like 50 minutes in.
Imagine.
Not even kidding.
But yeah, so I like that. The concept is very interesting. At least to me, And I gotta say, because we're talking about making a short, or your short. I don't know if we want to talk about it yet. You
Sure.
can cut it. But
No.
this movie, and you might be offended, it reminded me, like, it felt like you could have written it.
Oh. Okay.
Like, it felt, well written.
That is an insult. No, I'm kidding.
It felt like a good story. Like, I was enthralled the entire time, and I was like, just, it just like, it was so easy to find. I mean, obviously, it was easy to find Sebastian Stan's character despicable, but I don't know. It was just good. I liked it.
I will say the only issue I have with this movie is the way that it treated her friend in it. I already forget. Yeah, I already forget everybody's name. But Molly, yeah, I'm just so tired of the best friend, like especially if it's the lead is a white woman, it's always a black woman that gets the like least interesting part of it. It's just like that. I'm just so uninterested in that kind of storytelling. And
Yeah, I
like
get
the
that.
girl boss, kind of like.
Oh.
I did really like the whole like how the way that she had to kind of work the system by like doing shit that she was not that she did not want to do,
Right.
but she had to for survival. Like I did like that aspect of it, and I think that was an interesting story in itself. I don't know, I'm just not a huge fan of that.
Yeah, I get that. I did like the wife, how you could tell that she was like potentially a past victim that like
Yeah.
was like Noah, where she like gamed the system, but she was like into it. She didn't like turn. She was like getting into it.
Right.
But the ending too with like that guy texting, like that was a little bit too much for me. I was like, this is like too spot on, I think. But I don't know how else they would have ended it.
It started off strong. Just it wasn't for me. It's not like I hated it. Just it was fine. I don't know.
Well, that's all I really have about that movie. Let's I've paid the penance.
I guess technically for one of them.
Yeah, for one of them.
All right. Last time we did movie actor, I think it's just filmography again. Oh no,
Okay.
no. No, it's actually 6 Degrees.
All right. We all know this one.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Okay. Let me pick. The first one is Naomi Watts. Do you know who that is?
I think so.
The movie is Mulholland Drive.
Okay.
And Rachel Weisz. And the movie on the card is The Fountain. Do you know who that is?
I do.
Okay.
Okay, so I have it in 2, but you helped me a lot. So Naomi Watts is in King Kong with Adrian Brody.
Wait, can I guess?
Yeah, I guess.
Brothers Bloom?
Yeah, the Brothers Bloom. I think
You can do a tiebreaker.
Damn, I've seen like no movies that this lady's in.
Naomi Watts?
Yeah. Oh, she's in Birdman, Insurgent, Glass Castle.
The Ring? Adore? Adore is a wild movie.
Is it?
Yeah, do you want me to tell you the premise?
Yeah.
So Adore is about Naomi Watts and what is that lady's name? Robin
Wright.
Wright. So they're friends. They've been friends for years. And they had 2 kids at the like same time, I think. They grow up when their sons are like let's say they're like in their 20s, like their early 20s. And I think Robin Wright, like her husband is like either dead or they've been divorced for a long time. And then Naomi Watts and her husband are like about to get a divorce. Somehow they both sleep with each other's sons. And so they like become involved with each other's sons.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And Hilarity ensues. No, I'm kidding. It's a drama. And it's wild. It's actually a decent movie. Because, like, technically they're not doing anything wrong, right? Like, it's the morality of it is questionable, but, like, the legality is sound. Because they're not, like, underage or anything. Well, like, that's your best friend's son.
Reverse mother lover.
Then you'll never forget who Naomi Watts is if you watch it.
Yeah.
Highly recommend, actually. It's actually not a bad movie. It sounds messy, but it's, like, tasteful. Tasteful messiness, you know? Okay, sorry. Oh, wait, yeah, are we doing a tiebreaker?
Yeah, let's do it.
Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda?
Yeah. We have to guess how old she is?
Mm-hmm.
This feels wrong. 87. No, I'm kidding. Write it down.
Yeah, we write it down.
But we're going to do it. Respectfully, how old is she? I have a guess.
I have a guess as well.
I said 78. Is that too old?
That's really fucked up. I put 65. I could be very wrong.
I feel like she
seems young.
Looks good for her age.
She's 84.
Dang. I was going to say 80. What did you say?
65. Just
Dang.
like a cool 20 years off.
This is what being respectful gets you, Anthony. Fuck all. Nothing. Okay. Oh, I know exactly what movie I want you to watch. It's a movie I watched today that I didn't even know existed, called Moonshot. Have you heard of it before?
It's the one on HBO Max, right?
Yeah.
I just saw this earlier today with
You watched it?
No. I saw it my bad. I saw it on HBO Max.
Yeah.
I was trying to get something. I think I was trying to get Young Justice because Kayla and I have been watching that. And then I just scrolled by it and I was like, wait, what? And I had to go back and reread the synopsis.
Yeah, and it's as dumb as you would think. My review is cute but empty.
I saw that too.
They don't, spoiler alert, they don't go to the moon. It's not about the moon at all. It's actually about Mars.
Is it Moonfall?
I fucking hope. You know what? I hope it exists in the same world. Like, while they're going to Mars, that all that shit's happening to the moon. And they just don't know. That'll make the movie better. Just think about that in your head. Like, everything that happens in
Same
Moonfall
universe?
is happening. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
While Lana Condor and Cole Sprouse are, having a cute little rom-com.
Nice.
The moon is fucking falling.
I'll watch that for next episode. But this episode, we're talking about Morbius. So let's hit the break. When we get back, let's talk about it.
Biochemist Michael Morbius tries to cure himself of a rare blood disease, but he inadvertently infects himself with the form of vampirism instead. I don't think I said that right. In Morbius. But I can't express to you how much I do not care that I said that word wrong.
Vampirism.
Is that how you say it? Vampirism?
Honestly, I don't know.
Vampirism?
But I'm just going to say that you're wrong.
All right. That's fine with me. Directed by Daniel Espinosa. Written by Matt Sazama and Burke Sharpless. Interesting. Starring Jared Leto, Matt Smith, and Adria Arjona.
Critics gave it a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. A 4.8 out of 10 on IMDb. And on Letterboxd, it has an average of you guessed it, 2.0 stars.
Damn.
Not good.
Ooh,
Not
it's
good
so
at
bad.
all. So you broke it down into the good, the bad, and the ugly. I only have the bad. So
Do you have any ugly? I have a couple of ugly.
Oh, I guess ugly.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
would
the
work.
good. Let's start off on a good note. What in the world is good about this movie? For one, I like the title. Not the title. The opening credits.
It kind of was like Dune.
Yeah, it felt very out of character. It didn't really go along at all with the movie, I feel like. Or any of the branding, nothing. Which is probably why it was good.
Yeah.
That's not the extent of my good. I liked that. I think Matt Smith put his entire soul. Sorry, I'll be nice about. I'll be like not nice. What I'm trying to say, like PG about this, but like I think he gave a really good performance. I really liked Matt Smith. Even the weird part where he was dancing, I felt like that was very. I feel like he made a lot of choices for this character, and that felt very. I don't know. In character, I guess.
The barrel, trying to get...
I'm really trying, but I liked him a lot. I thought he was great.
Okay.
I thought he was really good. I think it just felt very like American Psycho, and like that's how he was playing this character. And I think that scene really shows me that he committed to this movie, and not in a psycho like Jared Leto way. He just like is a good actor, That's the extent of my list. I think I have a few more, but I like that it was trying to be creepy. There were some moments that genuinely did like creep me out. Mostly I think when he first turned into a vampire. Those scenes, I think if they were a little bit, I wish they would have went a little bit harder on like how scary he could have been. And I like that he looked like Bagul from Sinister. That's the extent.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't think I have anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
It's really bad. I also really like how much Tyrese did not want to be in this movie. He looked pissed. Every single scene, he looked pissed that he had to be in this movie.
It's insane because I feel like the trailer made it seem like he was going to have a bigger role because like he gave a whole like monologue saying like,
right,
you're the one, you save lives, you don't take them or something. Mm-hmm. Like the trailer made this movie to seem like a completely different thing entirely because like it seemed like he was a villain, like he was going around killing people, which I mean I guess that's what people thought, but
yeah. And then like the extent of Tyrese's character was just him walking into a room being like, what are you doing? Like that was it. That was basically it. His I guess another good was his partner was kind of funny.
Oh, with the holy water and then
yeah, that was a little funny. They saw him fully flying up a building and they were like, you're not a vampire. They were like, this isn't you.
Yeah.
That was kind of weird. Yeah.
The bad.
Also, the bad first, like really inconspicuous, but they never showed us if that girl was okay. They like put her in a coma and then just left her the rest of the movie. That like really, I don't know why that bothered me.
I was like telling Kayla what happened in the movie, which is like she's like,
oh yeah, she refused to see it, right?
I went alone. Yeah. Which, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you saw me alone.
Sadness could be felt.
And she was just like, I was just like, yeah, they never really mentioned what happened, or she's just still in a coma.
In that induced coma, yeah.
Rough. So much bad. I want to start with just the relationships didn't make any sense. They weren't built up at all, and they just expected too much of us. Because I think,
right,
Jared and Matt Smith's character, their friendship didn't make sense to me, and it seemed like a terrible ripoff of Andrew Garfield and Dane DeHaan in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, where Peter Parker has the cure for Dane DeHaan's character. And he's like pissed because he won't share it with him. He's like, why won't you cure me? You can. We're best friends. We've known each other since like forever. And then they ultimately steal it, and then shit goes down. Right. And then they die.
And then the whole like him calling him Milo, they never really, he just did that because like, what was this? Did that matter? That's another thing too. I feel like they really wanted us to care that he just gave him a name. He was like, "You're Milo. Yeah. Everybody's Milo. Until you die, you're Milo." And then they kept saying his name over and over again.
Yeah, the whole like flashback scene where they, you see how they met and how Michael became the doctor, it felt like 2 days that they knew each other. And like, is it that much to build a bond that lasts like a lifetime and like, where did Matt Smith get all this money from? Like,
yeah, they didn't explain that.
Didn't explain that.
Or the thugs, like the bodyguards he had, they never showed up again. Another thing,
ridiculous.
Well, maybe I have something about Matt Smith that's in the ugly part of it, like that was like so bad that it needs to be talked about for a few minutes. But another one was at the very end in his like peak villain arc. He was dressed as the Mask from Jim Carrey. He had like, and also just the bad CGI of his face, which is what I want to talk about in the ugly section. But yeah, that was a strange choice. The CGI, maybe that's an ugly thing, right?
That's an ugly for sure.
Okay.
Another bad was another relationship, the romantic one.
Oh, right.
That was also like when they kissed, I was like, really? Is this where you guys are at? Because this is like, this is weird. And then the worst part was when Matt Smith like just like pokes her neck and like kills her or something.
Yeah, that was weird.
And she's like,
pokes her neck and kills her.
He's like, she says like, don't make this worth it. And then bites her lip or his lip to bleed.
Yeah.
And then she like,
but it was like sexual. She's
did
like
need to be
on her deathbed.
Well, is she? Because she's back. But she came back.
I know, but she's dead. She's like that's literally her deathbed, and she has a moment to bite Jared Leto's lip. And I hope to God that was real, because the amount of pain he puts people through just by being on a movie with him. I hope she actually bit his lip. She probably hates him, and she's like, that's what you get, you motherfucker. And then turns into a vampire. Yeah,
that was really weird, because it felt like there was like 9 endings to this movie.
Yeah. Another thing is like putting bats in a fish tank. I mean, I don't know the morality of a fish in a fish tank, but a bat in a fish tank feels weird.
And then he like walks into it and he's like, they're a part of me. I'm their brother.
Yeah, but then not the other guy? That was kind of strange.
Yeah, I don't know. That I think that's pretty much all I have.
Well, another thing too is having to see Jared Leto shirtless, and he's like, "I'm beautiful." Like, how does that not feel stupid?
That was very forced.
Because like, it's not even that I hate on Jared Leto. I do not like that man, but also it felt stupid when it happened to Chris Evans, where he's like, "Don't worry, guys, I'm hot now." You know, like, well, who said that vampires need to be hot? You know, like that was a whole thing in Twilight too, right? Like, what was? I mean, I guess I understand being at your peak physique, but like, I don't know, it's kind of strange. And then the ugly. First of all, Matt Smith, so they did him dirty because he gave a pretty good performance, like way more committed than he ever had to be for this movie.
His cheeks were like,
but I feel like every time we saw him in his like vampire form, he looked completely different every single time.
It was really weird. He looked like he looked like an elf, kind of.
Yeah, but then there was one moment where he looked like an elf. There was one, like, he just, every single time, like, at least Morbius, like, at least for him, it looked consistent. He looked like Bagul the whole time. But, like, Matt Smith, it looked like 5 different teams of CGI people worked on his face and didn't consult each other. Because it looked so different every time I saw it. Maybe that was just me. But I was like, is he, like... Also, when do they turn into that? Like, is it only when they're hungry or only when they drink? I also hated that they just automatically, their shortcut for saying blood was red or blue. Like, they both just knew to say that. I really hated
they would
that.
just, like, use, like drank it like a Capri Sun.
Yeah, didn't like that. I also didn't like the whole, like, the ugliest fucking thing of this movie was their ears. Why did they have to do that?
Yeah.
Why?
I honestly don't remember them, but I'm sure it was gross.
It was disgusting. I'm trying to think of like a comparison. It looked like a, I can't think of it. Like the inside of an orange.
Oh,
It just was scaly, dude. You don't remember that? Like, did
when
they
he was
really
using
need
the
to do that?
echolocation. Yeah.
Yeah, we get it. We can see the echolocation. Why do you have to do that? Why did his eyes do that shit? I just
The like Rorschach. Yeah, that was weird.
yeah,
I
strange.
The one thing I'll say is it might be a genius even
Oh no.
that they released this movie on April 1st because the amount of like good takes that I've seen on Twitter is like kind of staggering, and I'm like, I don't know if this is a lie.
Oh.
I don't know if it's like fake, so it might
Right.
be genius. Because I've seen some like people who genuinely like this movie, or at least like it seems like they do. But then again, it's April 1st, and like the internet on that day just like kind of sucks. So I'm at a loss for words for this movie.
That is kind of genius if they did it that way. Oh, another bad was just the random ass slow motion. What was that?
Too much.
Too much and like so bad. I also hated the way Morbius himself looked.
What else do you have that's ugly? Because I want to get into
After credits.
something. No, not after credits.
The fight scene was horrendous.
The last one?
Yeah, that was really stupid. There was another thing
With the
that I
bats.
just left my brain. Yeah, I also hated how the police were like, I know you killed 10 people on a boat, but they're probably all bad anyways, and we've deemed that because we are, we are the jury, what do they call it? The jury, judge, and executioner. We can determine that. So like, fuck them. I'm
We're
glad
good.
they're dead. But a nurse, a single mom. I don't know if those other men had children, but it doesn't fucking matter because they're the scum of the earth. Like, that was just strange that they were like, you know what? We're going to let it slide. I was like, why?
Well, they were, yeah, that's true. I was going to say they're on international waters, but it's like,
Yeah, but they were people.
it came in, yeah, I don't know. It is weird.
So strange, especially because, everybody this past week are trying to be the morality police, right? They're trying to be like morality central over here, trying to figure out what's right and wrong. Mm-hmm. And then the police are literally in this movie like, you know what? We can give or take a few thugs on a boat. We don't give a shit.
That's funny.
Yeah. That was bad. I think that's mostly it. If something else comes to mind. Oh, also the way that I forgot about that Nicholas guy that didn't age. Like the guy that took care of them when they were kids.
Oh, yeah.
And then 20 or 30 years passed and he looked exactly the same.
same.
Didn't try to, they were like, you know what, maybe we should try to age him a little bit. They're like, nah, he's fine. He's a white man. He'll age well. That was kind of strange. And then it was hilarious. The way he died was kind of funny because he like dragged himself to a door for no reason, and then Morbius got there. He said like 2 words and instantly died. Like, you waited that long to die. You can't have the decency to wait 1 more full sentence to die. If that was his, like, that man has great comedic timing even in the the face of death. That was hilarious.
Gotta give it to him for that. That's funny.
Right. But yeah, I think that's it. What do you have?
Well, I just want to say we're shitting a lot on this movie, but
Yeah.
what would we do to fix it? Because I know
Not
the first
make
thing
it.
Okay,
Sorry,
yeah, obviously.
Right.
But
Sorry, go on.
The first thing I'd tackle is, I think, what was the good thing that you mentioned is, the like scary bits.
Right.
I would make this like full on or R-rated scary movie. Why not? I mean, like, experiment with it. I said this about the Adam Project. Like, that's like, you had a decent, like, they have a decent enough story that they can make it different and make it like, experiment with it. Why not do it? Why not just go for it? Like Spider-Man 2002, when Goblin transforms into, or when Willem Dafoe's character, Norman Osborn, turns into the Green Goblin, that's like a good horror scene.
Mm-hmm.
Because we hadn't really seen anything like that. And this reminded me of that a lot because, he's like getting strapped in. Even the serum that he used was green. And it had the same graphics, which looked worse. Like the one in Spider-Man looked a lot better of like his muscles getting bigger and all that. But just be scarier.
I think fully be scarier. Don't use CGI. I think maybe the nails, that's always something that vampires have for some reason. Obviously the teeth and maybe something with his eyes, but it never looks, I think CGI with your face, something like that, it never really looks good unless you can fully go for it. So I would just scratch that. And I know you have to have an indicator whenever, or do you even have to have one? And I don't even know if you do, but I feel like just changing the eyes, I feel like that would have been fine itself. Get rid of that smoky shit. That was kind of weird. Don't let them fly. That looked so fucking stupid. Yeah. And I like the scene, one of my favorite scenes was when the nurse died because of the shot of her looking. I've never seen a hospital like that. I'm sure there is a lighting place, a place that's lit the way that hallway was. That was my favorite scene. I forgot about that, but that was my favorite scene because I think it's such a good way to creep out an audience. It was genuinely creepy just looking down that audience, or looking down and seeing something crawling towards you. Fucking scary. And I feel like that is the vibe I wanted for this entire movie. Just make it grittier. I know they want to fit a certain vibe because it probably to match what Venom is, but you don't have to do that. I don't know why they think every single movie in this universe has to be the same style when you can go darker. From the way they set up that they want him to be, the spoiler alert, but they probably want to do the Sinister Six, but it's not going to work. We already have a goofy set of villains in DC. Be scary. Be actually, build an actual scary set of villains that are going to do shit. I don't know, just the fact that it wasn't believable to me by the end that they wanted us to think that Morbius was a bad guy because they didn't really earn that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like I said in the trailer, I think it really made it up to be he was going to be a villain by the end of this movie. And that's what kind of what I was waiting for. I was like, is he going to turn because that lady died? And he's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
But then she's back. She's alive or something. Just scrap that whole relationship, I think.
Yeah, just honestly, he should have just killed her.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, I think it's such a good twist to set up this really decent guy, showing him with children and how nice he is, the little origami shit that came out of nowhere, but okay, fine. Set that up and then just turn it. Don't even that guy is dead by the time he takes that serum. I feel like that is more interesting. Yeah. And that maybe Matt Smith's guy, or maybe he is kind of grappling with it. Matt Smith's character is fully still trying to he's dude, just fuck it. We are alive now. It's fine. And he kind of, maybe he coaxes him into it and Michael's okay, let me drink some human blood, see what it's like. And then he goes even further, Matt Smith, he goes so further that Milo is scared of him now. He's fuck, this was bad, we shouldn't have done this.
Yeah, I mean he's a doctor, he's super methodical, so he can get
right.
really fucked up with it.
Yeah, that's so much more interesting that Matt Smith wants to be this villain guy, but then he can't because he doesn't know what it takes to do that. When Morbius, maybe he's been more fucked up all along. I don't know.
Hire us, Marvel, please.
Let us make the next one.
Morbius.
Oh,
2.
Another thing.
Even
recast
more
Jared
Morbi.
Leto. Even more Morbius-er.
More BS. Parentheses E in between R and B. More BS.
That's the first pitch. is we're not going to name it Morbius 2. We're going to name it More Morbius.
More Morbius.
Jesus, never mind. Don't let us do anything. But yeah, recast Jared Leto is my first act as co-director is recast him.
And don't even disrespect Michael Keaton by only giving him like.
Yeah, what the fuck? Honestly, he could be Morbius for all I give a shit. For all I fucking care. That's the thing. Is like he is a great like the way that it's the Vulture, right? I kept saying the Vulcan in my head. But the Vulture, he actually is a good villain. Like he has some sort of, he has the whole thing about, having a daughter, and like he is like an actual person, but like it is believable that he turned into a bad guy and tried to kill a child. So like I like that choice. I honestly even like Venom because I think he's also like funny. He's like the funny guy of the crew, I guess, but he still can do bad shit. Why, like, who is Morbius what does Morbius fit? What does he bring to the table? How does he fit within this team?
Yeah. Who knows? But as soon as Michael Keaton did the whole like transfer, like how Venom did, into this universe, and he said something so stupid. It was like,
I like the feel of this joint. Something like that. Like, Jesus Christ. Can you imagine being the person to like tell him that's his line? To tell Michael Keaton, doesn't he have an Oscar? I don't know how much weight that holds now, but an Academy Award winning actor saying, hey, can you say, I like the feel of this joint? And he's like, that doesn't feel like shut up, Michael, fucking say it. This is Morbius.
Do you want to be back for more Morbius?
This isn't Birdman or whatever the fuck you just did. This isn't a shithole like that. Like,
you're in the MCU now, baby. Even though you've been in it, you're in the MCU now.
Poor Michael Keaton. He's like, I'm trying to. That's why he's like, I'll do this one scene, and then they're like, actually, we're gonna do another after credit scene that we really need you to be in, and he's like, no.
We just need your voice. That's all we need.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
so I saw that on Twitter.
Joint again. Oh yeah, that was my question. I remember you told me you like read all the spoilers, and then before I was going to the movie, you were like, "Oh yeah, I've seen the after credit scene." So how did it feel watching it while knowing what happens? Because I had the other perspective where I didn't see any spoilers. I don't know how I avoided them. I wasn't even like trying to avoid them. I didn't care enough, but like I didn't know anything about this movie. So how did it feel for you knowing?
Well, I reread the thread. I mean, there's like some decent spoilers. The Cinema Blend Twitter thread interviewing Daniel Espinosa, the director, and he just says like how everyone got into it and how one of the questions was like, is there a Spider-Man in this universe? He's like, yeah, of course. And then just saying how.
It's like a stupid question.
In Spider-Man No Way Home, it's clearly established that it's possible for characters to transfer from one multiverse to another. And so they just like transferred back and forth characters, and maybe others, they said. Other characters. But the biggest thing I had spoiled was the after credit scene. So I saw it beforehand on Twitter. And I was just trying to like imagine like at what point in this movie like would this happen? Like why would the events of this movie lead to Vulture meeting Morbius? And yeah. I wasn't satisfied at all. Like it didn't make any sense.
And they put it in the trailer.
Yeah.
That was strange. Because I feel like that happened before in a movie, and you're like, I've never seen that. Oh, Uncharted. Remember that?
Uncharted, yeah.
And you're like, I've never seen that happen before. Well, here you go.
Morbius did it again.
He did it again.
I feel robbed. It doesn't make any sense. It feels so forced.
It also feels so funny that, like, I don't know. I hate to shit on this movie. Well, I don't hate to, but it feels bad because people, like, real people made it. But... yeah. it is very funny to me that there are interviews where Jared Leto's like, yeah, I'd love to have, all the Spider-Men team up with Morbius. And I saw that and I was like, dude, they don't want anything to do with this fucking movie. If they know anything that's good for them, they'll stay as far as they can from you and Morbius. If they know what's good for them. If I was Andrew Garfield and I saw this movie, I'd be like, yeah, count me out. I don't want to be a part of this at all. Don't even let him get near Tom Hardy or I'm going to have a panic attack. This movie was so bad.
It was not good. And like for the first time in like history, I think, after seeing it after credit scene, I was like genuinely like, I don't want to see that. I don't care.
I mean,
I swear. Like I remember when I just remember seeing a lot of after credit scenes of like, teams getting together and like, Sinister Six, like just doesn't excite me at all after this.
Yeah.
Very sad to say.
Not if he's involved, no. Michael Keaton, Tom Hardy, I'm listening. And I'm interested. Jared
Tell
Leto,
me who the other four
less so.
are.
Unless he's the first one to die. Not interested.
Right, it's just like it would be like the first half of Suicide Squad, the newer one, where they just all die.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Not Tom Hardy, though.
No. But I mean, I'll watch it just because I like Spider-Man.
Your shit.
I like Spider-Man. I want it to be good.
I also thought it was funny that they were like, let me get my Daily Bugle. We're reading it like this. Huh.
Oh, like the thing that happened in California?
No, San Francisco.
Or San Francisco?
That we talk about all the time and bring up in every single investigation that we do.
Oh, interesting.
And I swear to God, I thought when he said, there's a school in New York, I thought it was going to be like some X-Men shit. And I was like, okay, this is enough. This is quite enough.
That's also funny that the guy was like, I will put my entire life on the line to get this 10-year-old to become a doctor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and he was like, yeah. Or didn't he say, he was like, you've always loved Michael more. And he's like, yeah, he's my favorite. And then you expect not to die? After you tell, yeah, he actually was my favorite. And also, what happened to the other children? Like, why are these the only two that you give a shit about? Because one of them has money and the other's smart?
He's dead now, so. Bad movie. Honestly, bad episode because it was a bad movie. Well, thanks for listening. Episode 122 will be out next week. Hopefully, I get to see everything everywhere all at once before we record, and it'll be about that movie. If not, I don't know. I'll go
Father
cry.
Stew. If not,
Father
Stew.
Stew. It baffles me.
I think we saw a trailer to that.
I've seen it so many times.
I've only seen it once. And we saw it. And Sebastian was like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah, Anthony told me about this movie and I didn't really think it was real until I saw this trailer.
I don't know. This movie, honestly, like I feel dumber after watching it. I don't know what's happening.
Put at the end of this episode, it was a Billy Madison where he's like, we're all dumber after hearing that. After
Truly.
having heard that, we're all dumber. And then he's like, you don't earn any points and God help your soul. Did you say that?
I don't remember.
1 star and God help your soul.
I feel weaker for it.
Somebody check
All
on
right.
Tyrese. Okay, bye.
We could end this. Goodbye.